As we reported, a U.S. Air Force veteran is being formally charged today for allegedly trying to join ISIS. And in Washington this morning, the House Armed Services Committee is examining President Obama's request to formally authorize force against the terror group. ISIS controls large areas of Syria and Iraq. CBS News contributor and Republican strategist Frank Luntz gathered Americans for a focus group to look at the ISIS threat and how our government should respond.
So how many of you are afraid of ISIS and what they're doing? Raise your hands. It's just about all of you, but you're not afraid.
I'm not.
Why?
I feel like so many of these boogie monsters, they're manufactured, and there's just one after another. If it's beheadings or shootings, it's never ending at this point. This is just the flavor of the year.
Tell the families of the beheaded that this is all manufactured. It's not manufactured.
Well, I took your question as, are you personally afraid? And I said no, because I feel the country is here to protect us, and they're doing the correct things to stop it in our country. So I don't personally feel afraid.
I think that ISIS's biggest power comes from spreading their media and their ability to attract young men from all over the world to these training camps, and that's definitely dangerous. And although I don't wake up in the morning scared, terrified, I think it's definitely something to be concerned about.
Thank you. And I don't know why our administration is waiting around, waiting for what? Another major catastrophe here in the U.S.
But what would you then ask the administration to do?
I would say go in with our SEALs and wipe them out. There's only 50, 60,000 of them.
So you want to send in troops? You want to send in troops?
You know, the challenge is that, yes, we want to eradicate them and eliminate them. We can't do it on our own. We don't have the intelligence. We have to use our allies to do that. We can't be the lead on this again.
Do I want one young man or woman in this country to have to give their lives? Absolutely not.
At what cost?
Absolutely not.
Who are you going to send?
There has been religious wars going on for 2,000 years, and that will never end. But we have to go in and wipe out this cancer right now before it gets worse and before it arrives on our shores.
I think that America needs a new strategy, and it's not just something that's within the United States. I think it's on a global level, and I think what we've learned from Afghanistan and the previous wars is that, you know, we can send a lot of troops over there, and we can end up with a lot of body bags coming back. And I think there needs
and
some
our inept
economic strategic
administration has no plan. That's why we need new leadership in this country.
First and foremost, let's talk about what happened in Iraq while we shouldn't have been there. That was really where the melting pot where it actually happened. That's where the powder went. That's what happened.
I thought we were talking about the Obama administration and ISIS.
No.
Okay.
I blame the administration, the Bush administration.
You do?
Absolutely.
Do you blame Bush for the rise of ISIS?
Because if you think about it, when Saddam Hussein was in power, right, he kept all those maniacs under control. He kept all those maniacs under control. And you know what? If he were back, if somehow you could bring him back from the dead and put him back, you know, I think he could handle all these guys. America has no history of successful nation building and has no business in that business.
I truly believe that ISIS are terrorists, and I agree with Obama in saying that it's not a religion war, because ISIS is making it seem like they're Muslim, but they already exterminated a lot of Muslims, and now they're going after Christians too.
Okay, so let's ask the question, is there an issue with that religion? Is there an issue with what is being preached in mosques across the globe? Is there?
Yes, if they are radical Islamic, yes. The regular Muslims that live here peaceably, no. And we're smart enough. We know the difference. And no, we don't want to send any more troops in, but we have to face this.
I think the kids are being brainwashed in the mosque.
You do?
Yeah.
Here in America?
Most of the mosques, I mean, the imams, I think they're brainwashing the kids.
In America?
Yeah.
ISIS is winning the PR war, and they're definitely capturing market share because they're willing to do whatever it takes, beheading people, attract attention to themselves. So beyond all the rhetoric, you know, they're capturing media attention, media coverage. So I don't know if they're actually winning the real war, but they're definitely winning the war, as given by the fact we're all talking about them right now.
Frank Luntz joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's the takeaway from this?
In essence, ISIS is winning because we're actually talking about this, that they've created terror, and that's the goal of terrorism. and people are very nervous, and they don't see that any administration, Republican or Democrat, has a solution. They blame the Bush administration, they blame the Obama administration, and there's no alternative.
Okay,
to
that's
it.
history. Looking at the future, what do they want the country to, what do they want the president to do?
They want the president to eliminate the threat without sending in troops. About a third in the published polling, somewhere between a third and 40% want troops. But as that gentleman said, they're 40 or 50,000. You can't wipe them out easily, and that's why you've got that anger and that passion. There's no resolution to this.
Well, he was very vocal. He said, just send in the SEALs and wipe them out. But was that what the majority in the group felt? I couldn't tell.
It's not, because this is one of those cases where they don't have an answer. When you do domestic policy, cut spending, cut taxes, that's easy. When it comes to foreign policy and national security, they don't have a consensus, and they don't see any leadership coming from Washington from either party to resolve it. I think 2016 is going to be all about foreign policy and national security because of comments like that.
For the first time since 2004, really, right?
This is the most nervous people have been in 10 years, and that's why just as 2004 did, 2016 will resolve and revolve around who's got the answer to remove that fear.
Because 08 was the economy and 12 was the economy as well.
And a referendum on Obama. 2016 is going to be who's going to make me feel safe and secure in my home and in my country.
Was that the referendum in the Israeli election?
I think that that's another example, that in the last minute, the last 24 hours, Israelis decided that it did not want to move left, that it felt that Bibi Netanyahu would provide a sense of security. And by the way, parties on the right disintegrated, and they moved to Netanyahu also. They did not trust a more centrist government with their national security, and we've seen that in other countries as well. It's happening in Europe as well.
And what do you think the re-election of Netanyahu will mean for the United States and the Obama administration?
I think the Obama administration today has got to be very disappointed because they had their people over there trying to make a difference, and Netanyahu pointed that out. And Israelis don't want other people, including Americans, telling them how to vote. It was also a rejection of the pollsters because they got it completely wrong. They thought the left was going to win this election, and Netanyahu won by 4 or 5 mandates.
But did it change in the last weekend of campaigning?
It may have changed in the last day, but this is going to be very difficult for this administration and, frankly, for the Middle East. When Netanyahu said no Palestinian state, boy, did that throw a monkey wrench into all of these negotiations.
I know, Frank, when you see pollsters get it wrong, you think what?
I think there, but for the grace of God, go I.
I think they're not Frank Luntz.
All right,
Yes,
Frank Luntz.
exactly.
Thank you very much.